I feel like I let everyone down with last week's podcast.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what this is about.
Okay,
but
well,
yes.
no, Niamh, shut the fuck up for a second, would you? You know, a lot, like, you always see it around Discord, and you always see it in the YouTube comments and everywhere else, like, John, king of intros. Like, I know that's kind of like a label that has been bestowed upon me, and I just felt like last week's intro, it just is just some weak stuff, and I was tired, and I got caught, and I could feel the disappointment from our community. I could feel it from you two.
Oh, yeah.
What has become of our king of intros? Everyone chanted. And so I wanted to come back this week with just a real strong segment, something to really like blow this episode open right from the beginning. So I'm going to bring back, Niamh, one of your favorite sections.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
it's improv.
It's the Let's Fight a Bros Improv Theater.
Yes! I love improv!
I love that you knew what I was talking about.
It's the worst. I fucking hate it. Okay.
Okay, Bryan,
Yeah?
you are trying to smuggle a horse, and you have it in the back seat of your car.
Okay.
Niamh, you are the cop who pulls over Bryan, and he is going to try and convince you that it is in fact a stuffed animal. 3, 2, 1. Make the magic happen.
Could you roll down your window, sir?
Yeah. What's up?
Sir, there's a horse in the back seat of your car.
Oh, I think you mean the stuffed toy. I know, it looks very realistic.
Sir, he's eating your hair. He's having a nibble.
It's just an animatronic. You know how these toys are these days. Kids really, really like the ones that are kind of almost realistic.
Sir, I need you to step out, and I need the horse to step out too.
That's not possible. My arms and legs don't work.
Well, we've no protocol for this, so I'm just gonna have to shoot you.
Oh, it's me, Magical Eddie, the token horse. I hope you can see it in your heart, officer, to let my friend here go.
That's right.
What's the matter? Horse got your tongue?
Oh my god!
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Start the episode! Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. The world's strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with two of the best damn theatre troupe in all of Ireland. To my left, master of the jazz hands, closer of the scene, it's Bryan.
I am touring every dance hall in Longford this September, and then I will be in Westmeath in October.
And to my right, the star so bright that audiences have had their eyes burned out of their skulls, it's Niamh.
Hi, I have no talent, but I'm really hot.
And with you always, the king of intros, it's John.
You said your name was John.
Yeah,
I gotta keep it straight like once in a while.
I don't like that.
Can't be all fun, can't be all fucking shits and giggles all the time, guys. It's about time someone brought some reality to this podcast.
It's Jorm?
I like Jorm. Let's go with Jorm.
Jorm's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't dispute that. Guys, how's it going?
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
That's not what he said.
No, it's really not.
I want to have a shower.
Yeah. Bryan really doesn't want to be here right now.
No, we're in my kitchen.
Pretty sure Niamh doesn't want to be either.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I love this podcast. Bryan, do you wash your legs in the shower?
Yeah. Oh my god. So,
Okay.
for the longest time, because you know how you don't have eyes back there, so you can't really see the back of your legs unless, like, you take long strides.
I can't wait to find out where this is going.
So you take long strides, but like, I was like, wow, I have really, really dry skin back there. And like, it's fine now. I moisturize so well. I am like a seal. I am just lubricated at all times.
Do you wash your legs, Niamh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to wash your legs.
This is like so old. This is such an old Twitter conversation. But it was about some stinky people saying they don't wash
there was
their
a
legs.
whole blow up over
Yeah, no,
this.
you have to wash your legs.
I don't see why you would go into the shower and wash like 80% of your body and then just go nah at the rest of it.
You gotta wash your feet.
You gotta get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stand in your shower and you've got to stand up on each foot, and do a little bit of weight displacement.
Then you might fall a little, and then your butt will touch the cold wall, and you'll be like,
How long do you guys spend in the shower?
Too long.
Yeah.
Because I'll zone out in the shower.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like, I am winning arguments in the shower, like so many arguments. I'm doing so well, and it's half an hour later, and Rebecca's like, "Did you pass out or something?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I'll come out and Michelle will be like, "Who are you talking to in there?" And I'll be like, "Shut up!"
Not you.
What, do you both just argue with yourselves in the shower?
Oh no!
When I'm by myself, I'll be thinking about conversations I've had or going to have, and I'll start unconsciously mouthing the words.
And coming up with like good responses to what ifs if they say this route or that route.
Okay.
Just right.
Do you never do that, Niamh?
No, I'm more of a singing in the shower, or at least listening to like maybe Diana Ross in my head and crying sometimes.
Just crying in the shower over some imaginary Diana Ross.
I do cartoon voices, and then I look in the mirror and I do funny faces.
Do you?
Oh man, I never do funny faces in the mirror. That's weird.
I love doing funny faces, and sometimes I run out to Rebecca with my funny face because it's really hard to like do a funny face, remember how it feels, and then replicate it.
Yeah, because you're trying to hold it. It's different.
Yeah.
Brian always asks me to do faces.
Yeah, you're not really a funny face kind of guy.
Nope.
John does really, really good funny faces because his face is always so serious, but it's actually super stretchy. So when he does a funny face, you're like, what the fuck? So it's like his face is like a door, but then it turns into a window. And you're like, what? So like it still opens and you like it does the same function, but it's not.
No.
A window is not a door.
My face is kind of frozen as very serious and stern a lot. But yeah, it can do stuff. I just don't think it should.
I think it should. Niamh can also do very funny faces. Sometimes when we're talking about something, her eyebrows are going fucking insane.
I can't control them. I learned how to do the Rock's eyebrow when I was like, I don't know, 10, and then they never stopped moving.
Yeah, I spent about a week trying to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
Valuable skill to have now that I do, but yeah.
Could be really damning in a conversation, just raising one eyebrow up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So guys,
yeah,
you want to talk about some media?
Sure.
But I was thinking first maybe we could talk about one very specific piece of media. It's Brian's old school anime reviews. And this week, Brian's going to be reviewing Fist of the North Star.
Fucking why?
Welcome, folks, to another episode of Brian's Anime Hour. It won't be a full hour, but it'll feel like it.
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star was written by Hirohiko Araki.
Right after he wrote Evangelion.
Right after Evangelion and Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
And it tells the story of a young lad named Kenshiro Uzumaki as he becomes the number one ninja in
all of Soul Society.
Of all of Soul Society. It's what, based on Mad Max? Mad Max is cool. It holds up. Have you seen the third movie? It's got Tina Turner in it.
Brian,
I love Tina Turner.
Niamh, shut the fuck up for 1 second. Brian, you gotta stay on the anime here.
Okay.
People are going to be pissed.
I got it.
Okay.
This episode is brought to you by NordVPN. Because when you want to check out the real anime, and I'm talking about the real anime, you want your IP address hidden. Because one time they came to my house, and my mom answered the door, and it was really fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so fucking sorry.
That's more like it. Have you guys seen Raid Shadow Legends sponsoring everything?
Yeah.
No.
It's a mobile game, isn't it?
It's a mobile game. You can select your own heroes. I don't know if I should say this. I might cut this out. They got in contact with me and offered me like an adventure weekend.
I wish you could take that because that sounds terrible. Like, for you.
It really sounds like going to North Korea on holidays or something. Just one of those things.
They didn't even say where it was. They were just like, we're going to take you to a location and you're going to do all this shit, all this Raid Shadow Legends shit.
Abseil for your life.
And all you got to do is just, put a minute or two in a video and that's it.
They'll probably take you to like a room where you see someone get murdered and then everyone starts clapping. You're like, oh, that was pretend. Wasn't.
Yeah, maybe that. I'm sure you hit that point eventually with sponsorship deals where you start getting taken to the red rooms.
Yeah.
Curiosity stream.
We get the fucking earbuds. There's so many different brands in them now.
Oh yeah.
Of Bluetooth earbuds.
It was weird to me when we started getting sponsorship offers.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I wonder sometimes.
I think we could do sponsorships if we had children or one of us was in like very bad health and we needed the money.
Why the children? To test them out, the products on the children?
No, because kids cost a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Fair. They're just fucking sinkholes.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the point to me where I'd start taking sponsorships maybe more seriously when I'd be like, oh shit, I have to keep this tiny creature alive and it's really weak and stupid.
When we have our let's fight a boss baby, then we can take sponsorships.
I felt like the phrasing around that sentence was a little strange and I really don't want to dwell on it very long. So we're just going to move right on into the quest log.
John's 4 months along.
Okay.
And I'm 12 months along. It's kind of like an elephant. It takes 2 months to gestate.
Will this fucking Google Doc open, please? We should mention that we've had to record this early due to scheduling conflicts. So this is actually going up a week before you're going to hear, or this is being recorded a week before you're going to hear it. So some of this will be a little old. Some of the news, anything crazy happens. If those wacky game developers are at it again and we don't talk about it, that's why. Or if we don't talk about the ninja stuff, it's because we just don't fucking care.
Yeah, it's boring.
Who's ninja?
Just some ninja.
Some Mixler lad, I believe.
That's enough of that. We don't. Next
That's
thing.
enough, yeah.
Okay, guys, I have been rereading Gantz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, this manga is a trip to go back to. This is a manga that me and Bryan are both very fond of, and we've kind of talked off and on this podcast for a while. Did you reread it in the last year or two, Bryan?
I've read it 3 times in the last 5 years.
It's such a fucking easy read.
Yeah.
It's so easy to read, and so many of the chapters are just these big, full page spreads, so you read them in literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know, Gantz is this manga about a bunch of people who die and they get teleported to a room with a giant black ball, and the black ball tells them to go kill aliens, and they do. And then they can come back to life.
That's it.
I'm having a great time. It's such a fun manga. It is kind of awful though in so many ways.
It's full of despair.
It is the most nihilistic, cruel thing I think I've ever read, or at least one of them.
Yeah, I can't believe it exists. Someone's mind went to a very dark place and pulled out just some really upsetting stuff.
And the way there's a lot of stuff when people talk about Game of Thrones or Attack on Titan, they'll be like, and the crazy part is anyone can die. It's you don't know the meaning of that sentence if you haven't read Gantz.
Yeah, we're just disposable bags of meat.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, and the way people die, it can be so sudden and so horrific, any character. But it's also really, I think it's really fun as well in a weird way, because there's moments of real sweetness in it too. Halfway through the manga, they basically drop Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star in it. And now he's one of the characters. And he forms this super sweet, really endearing relationship with this kid. And the kid has been drawn, and this kid is he's 4 years old, and now he's drawn into the events of Gantz as well. And he's a 4-year-old, so he's just gonna get eaten by the aliens straight away. And it becomes about the Kenshiro guy who always wanted to be the strongest, his like whole life starts to like reorientate around this kid, and he just really wants to protect him. And like it's really sweet and it's really sad. It's a fucking ultra problematic manga in so many ways, though. Like it is. If there is like if something upsets you, it's probably in this manga, and like does have a lot of shitty depictions of a lot of things, and that leaves me feeling real mixed about it, especially now. I think it was wrote like 20 years ago.
Started about 20 years ago.
Yeah, and like I think back then it would have been like, ooh, this is maybe not great. It has only aged worse in that regard.
Yeah, it feels like something from the 2000s.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, when like anime was kind of getting like a second wind because the internet meant everyone could watch it now, and like DVDs and stuff were becoming real popular. It feels like that nearly second generation of real gory, problematic 80s manga.
Yeah.
But that happened again in the early 2000s, and you had stuff like this. You had like Elfen Lied, maybe to a lesser degree something like Tenyo Tenge. And that stuff does not age well and leaves me conflicted about it. But I also have such a fucking blast reading this. It's a great horror manga, I think. Like the monsters in it are so just horrific.
Yeah, and it just has a very visceral depiction of war.
Yeah, completely.
That kind of borrows from real events.
Yeah, and it's got such a desperation to a lot of the fights. Like when a fight ends and you're seeing who survived, it's so harrowing.
Yeah, there's no winners.
It's good shit. Niamh, I understand you've watched more Dark.
Yeah, I finished season 1, and I wanted to just say people should really give it a shot. I said last time it was kind of described as Stranger Things. I don't know where people are pulling that one from, to be honest. It's even on the wiki. It's just like anything you read about Dark, it's like Stranger Things. There's nothing in it at all apart from they're in the 80s at some point.
How many Coke adverts are there?
None. There's no wild advertising. I'm sure there's product placement that I haven't noticed, but there's no full-on advertisement in it, thankfully. But I think people should really, really give it a shot. It's one of my favorite TV shows I've watched this year. It's really shockingly different.
So you kind of described a fair bit about it on the last episode, and it sounded cool. Was there like a point where it really started coming together for you?
I think episode 3, it's only a 10 episode first season, but episode 3 on every episode is a reveal. Like more and more gets peeled back from this mystery, because it is a mystery. It's a there's missing dead children, who killed them, and new characters and new players are popping up, and new people are coming into the town. Another child goes missing, but she's found again, and she says she's met a certain man. There's always layers upon layers of things kind of going continuously. It never has a slow moment. So it really kept me engaged. I was really sad to finish the first season, but season 2 looks wild, because you thought you were in the future, but maybe you weren't in the future and you were only in the present.
I watched the first episode and I really enjoyed it. It's got like I thought it'd be way more European, but it's not.
It's more like German sad European than like Euro pop.
I think German stuff is really different to a lot of European stuff, and like a lot of stuff you're saying about like the kind of weird German pop, and like there's like a functionalness to it and a kind of coldness a lot of the time as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a motif of dead birds a lot, and like kids finding dead birds, and like, you know, the weirder ones drawing them.
Yeah.
There's just it has a kind of, and it's raining a lot. It has this kind of aesthetic that even when it's not really depressing, it's just like it feels heavy. Like it feels like there's this atmosphere that's kind of simultaneously really heavy, but also it's very wide and open and isolating. It's an interesting aesthetic, and it really works, and it continues to look and sound. The sound design's great up until the end of the season. So yeah, I think people should give it a go. Have you tried the dub?
Yeah, the dub was great. It's pretty seamless. Like you kind of forget that.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Like it doesn't sync up, but you know the way sometimes when you watch shows, the syncing it's off by a second.
Yeah.
and you just kind of get over it after a minute. Feels like that. But then they'll do a thing, so like if a character goes into a cave, they add an echo to their dub. So it blends in pretty well.
Yeah, this dub, like, I've switched over to German with subtitles, but the dub was so impressive, it really had me thinking about the art of dubbing things, because I was like, this is so much work to make this sound as good as it does.
There's a channel on YouTube, the Anime Cypher, and a lot of their channel is like focused on like dubbing and the dubbing industry. Really interesting videos. People should check them out. And I've met them at AX, and they're like super nice guys as well.
Cool.
But they have a lot of videos just on like the process of dubbing, and yeah, it's really weird and involved and interesting.
Yeah, because like it's a really quick turnaround as well, isn't it? And you've got different rules because all the timing has already been decided. Like you have to work within restrictions.
Yeah. They were talking about Team 4-Star before, and how people are like, oh, Team 4-Star should just do their own anime or something. And they were saying how like the way Team 4-Star redubs Dragon Ball Z, you could not use that process at all for actually redubbing, for actually like just ordinarily dubbing something. And Team 4-Star like agreed with that. And it was just really, really interesting to see them break it all down like that. But yeah, Niamh, that sounds class.
Give it a go.
I did.
Bryan,
Yeah.
you have been watching the 2014 series Parasite the Maxim. It's a really good anime. Madhouse. It's what they did after Hunter x Hunter, and there's even a sneak preview of it in the final episode of Hunter x Hunter. So, Bryan, now that you're catching up with it, how'd it go?
That's Parasite with a Y. I did in fact watch that 5 years ago, and I thought it was very good. But no, I'm talking about the 2019 South Korean movie Parasite.
Okay, we're probably just going to keep it on Parasite with a Y for the rest of this segment. So I like Miji personally. I think he's very good.
Yeah, he's cool, little hand.
Yeah.
A very interesting idea for a mascot.
The bit where the guy attacks all the mafia dudes, the naked guy, and he beats the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's a cool bit.
Yeah, that's really good. Anyway, moving along. So, Bryan.
No, go on.
No.
Go on. I know.
Did you see this in the cinema, Bryan?
No, of course I didn't.
Okay.
You can't see this movie. Parasite is a South Korean movie that came out a couple months ago at the Cannes Film Festival and won the Palme d'Or. And I really, really like the director of this, whose name I can't remember because it's not a name I would know off the top of my head. He directed Okja, he directed Snowpiercer, he directed The Host, Memories of Murder, and Mother, and maybe another film as well. But his most recent movie is Parasite. And I watched this via illegal methods, but as soon as it's in the cinema, I will absolutely be seeing this in the cinema. This is my favorite movie I've seen this year. Holy shit.
Cool.
Ooh, there's been some good movies this year.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
This movie is fucking brilliant. I can't say anything about it other than the one sentence synopsis, which is a poor family start conning a wealthy family, and
Right on.
things ensue, and every 10 minutes something happens and you just get more and more invested until you're screaming at the movie. I really, really enjoyed this. It's just such a fucking masterpiece of a film. I couldn't, like, I really, really like this movie. And I get the feeling this movie will get remade in a year or two by Hollywood, because it's one of those movies that could just be told in any language, in any circumstance, in any country.
Yeah.
And the story would more or less be the same. Hope they don't do that. Like, this is just, this is foreign cinema at its best. Like, it's so watchable and showable to anyone, and they would get something out of it.
A strong recommendation.
Like,
Is it horror?
I don't know what genre this movie is.
Okay.
It's really, really funny. It's not a comedy. It's not a horror, but there's bits in it that are really scary. I don't like Midnight Father.
Midnight Father.
Yes. That's all I can... I don't like... It's just a fucking weird ass movie, and like you can watch it online. It's not hard to find. I found it. Just But I think if this movie's in the cinema, you got to take grandma and see it. It's like, I think even grandma would get something out of this movie.
Even grandma.
Like, this movie is so fucking weird, but it's so humane and relatable. It's just really, it's fucking wild. Like, you know how we all saw Oldboy, but we were like, there's some stuff in that movie that's kind of bad.
Yeah.
But like, also, I really like Oldboy.
Yeah.
But this is kind of like watching Oldboy now, but like knowing what's kind of more politically correct, I guess.
I struggle with that. Sorry, tangent. Go on.
No, it's fine. I got you.
I guess I struggle with that a lot. Like, where do you draw the line with that stuff?
Like, this has a line. It shows you the line. It doesn't cross it, but like it lets your mind wander.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
I think the line is decided by each individual person.
Yeah, that's kind of the conclusion I feel like I've come to on it.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes, like, especially with more YouTube stuff, I'm a bit like, if this is problematic, should I talk about it? But then I'm kind of like, well, people are gonna talk about it, and I'd rather be like, hey, this is bullshit in this, rather than just no one talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be critical of stuff you like. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as people are very, without spoilers, I guess, but are open of what could be in it that could be damaging for someone. Because, like, you can talk about something that you love for ages and not mention something that could be deeply triggering for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that enters a whole other realm. Where it's just kind of
totally.
like, especially like when you get to a certain point. And I think sometimes I feel like a lot of people push back on that, but I also think like you have to take audience size into mind. Like, if it's going to be the kind of thing where like a couple of friends watch your video, that's not a big deal. If you have like a bigger audience than that, it becomes an increasingly bigger deal with the size of the audience. But yeah, it's just something I kind of I feel like I struggle with from time to time.
Yeah,
Brian, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, like it was just something I thought about because I know it's South Korean movies. There's a lot of dark stuff in them.
Yeah, god damn.
And there's some fucked up shit in this movie, but it's done in a way that it kind of doesn't tell you outright.
I feel like there's always a balance with these with South Korean movies where things get so dark, but there's also this like beauty to them.
Oh yeah, no, like this is the most balanced thing ever. It's such a good film, and like because it takes mostly in one location, but they use that location so well that you know like every room of the building. And you know where characters are in relation to other characters. I think that's so good.
Yeah, stuff like that's great.
Yeah, no, like it's a fun time. I'd love to see it in the cinema, and I think everyone would be screaming at the movie because of just.
I'm for sure going to go see that in the cinema.
I really, really enjoyed it. It's the main guy from Thirst, the vampire priest. He's the poor dad in this movie. I can't remember that actor's name. But he's also like he's in Snowpiercer as well. I really, really like that actor. He's very good at playing like someone who's kind of a buffoon or someone who's like a complete mastermind. And in this, he's kind of a mixture of both.
Awesome. So Niamh, we've had improv theater. We've had Brian's old school anime reviews. We got to hit the trifecta. We got to get your 3 favorite segments into this podcast.
What?
It's Wrestle Talk.
No. I was like, what else is there? What else do I hate?
So there was 2 big wrestling events in the last. Yeah, so fucking strap in because here we go.
All right, part 1.
Part 1, SummerSlam. Guys, it's the WrestleMania of the summer.
Is SummerSlam the American one?
What are you talking about? Yes, it's WWE.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we don't know. You talk about like 6 different wrestling
How do you not
things
know
now.
what SummerSlam is?
I don't know.
Do you think like SummerSlam is a New Japan joint?
Well, it could be like
New Japan has like pay-per-views called like Dominion and like stuff like that. Power Struggle.
I did really like when you were asking me was I going to watch SummerSlam, and I just dismissively said like, no, John.
That was very funny.
How long is SummerSlam?
It was actually just the main show was actually a very digestible 3.5 hours.
Okay, so that's just the main show, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like that's actually by WWE standards for one of their big 4. That's pretty reasonable.
Would people prefer they were shorter?
I would.
Yeah, I think anyone I've spoken to about wrestling would prefer
It's
if they were
funny,
shorter.
a lot of people who love wrestling are very, very enthusiastic about watching as little of it as they possibly can.
Is it long then for the people who go see it live and that's their full day? Like, that's their full drinking day of watching
If
wrestling?
you go to WrestleMania, you are there for like 9 hours, like including pre-show.
That means you can't go to the bathroom.
You can go to the bathroom, but the lines are ridiculously long.
Just go in a bag.
Yeah. But so SummerSlam happened, and there were some really good matches. It was a much better show than I think people were expecting. Becky Lynch and Natalya had a really, really good I Quit match. Becky Lynch is so legit. She's fucking brilliant. Whatever the X factor is for wrestlers to be stars, she has just her character works, the way like she's such a prick but people love her. Like it's great, and she's just continuing to do fantastic things for like that title and the women's division, and I really hope they keep pushing her. Sasha Banks came back recently, which is really fucked up because Sasha Banks was a good guy, but then she took off her wig and she had blue hair under her red hair and beat the shit out of Becky Lynch. It's like, oh, fuck. Do you know who Sasha Banks is, Niamh?
Yeah, you've shown her to us before.
Yeah, I thought you'd be a fan. But the highlight of the whole SummerSlam for me, the thing that I think a lot of people were really excited about, it was the in-ring debut of Bray Wyatt's new character. And Bray Wyatt is the guy who's been doing the Firefly Funhouse. And this is the thing I've kind of been pushing on this podcast and on the channel and everything. I absolutely love this gimmick, and I was really interested to see where it goes. And this was really scary because they have built this character up for months now. And like, how do you actually translate that into the ring? And are they going to fuck it up? Like, is he literally just going to lose straight away? Like, is a good guy going to beat him and just that'll be it? He came to the ring and he was fighting Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is one of the like upper mid-card guys. He's a really talented wrestler. He's the one who started the Bullet Club in New Japan, and he's from like Wexford. And it was going to be really interesting to see how this went. And Bray Wyatt came to so first of all, the lights go out, and then all you see is Bray Wyatt's head, but his mouth is really, really open, and it pulls back, and it's actually a lantern of Bray Wyatt's decapitated head. And it's being carried by the Fiend, the spooky demon character of the Firefly Funhouse. And the lights are all out, and all you can see is just this sea of like mobile phones in the crowd that are all like meant to be the fireflies of the Firefly Funhouse, which I thought was really cute. And so he comes to the ring with this really fucked up mask, and he gets into the ring and he absolutely destroys Finn Balor. He did this thing where he basically broke his neck, and it was fantastic. But like, he was so different than he is from like his Bray Wyatt character, than he is from his cult leader. Like, he was weird and spooky and deranged, and there was parts of the match where it looked like he didn't know he was in a wrestling ring anymore. And it was fantastic. It was brilliant, and I really hope they keep pushing this character. Main event was Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I'll make this quick. This was a fantastic match, and it was really, really good. And if you like wrestling and you wrote it off because you've seen this before, this is nothing like their previous matches. It was nearly like a New Japan kind of style battle of attrition. And I'm not a big Seth Rollins fan. The way I was talking about Becky Lynch having it, I don't think this guy has it. I think he's the most white meat babyface ever, and he was interesting when he was the leader of the faction for the when he was the leader of the Shield. He's not anymore. Good wrestler, just doesn't have a lot of charisma. Okay, that's SummerSlam. Now let's move on to the shit that really matters. It was the end of the G1 in New Japan. G1 is the most prestigious tournament in wrestling. It's this round robin style tournament where basically 10 wrestlers fight in one block, 10 wrestlers fight in another block. The one with the most wins, they face off in the final, and the winner of that goes on to fight the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is WrestleMania. And I love the G1, but last year I was really disappointed because my fucking favorite guy ever, my beautiful boy, the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega's boyfriend, made it right to the end, only to get beat by Tanahashi, who's like basically, he's like just a real old school star, and it just felt like this real kind of awful thing where this really old school guy was getting pushed over the kind of young up and coming talents, and it was so disappointing. And at the start of this year's G1, it sucked because Kota Ibushi like lost his first 2 matches, and it's like, oh, we're really never gonna do this, are we? But he ends up making it all the way to the finals, and he's fighting Switchblade Jay Wyatt. And there was this really amazing thing that happened right at the start of the match. And Kota Ibushi comes out and he does his entrance, but he doesn't have Kenny anymore. Kenny is in AEW, so he's completely by himself. And then Jay Wyatt comes out, and then next thing, all of Bullet Club come out behind him. So Kota Ibushi is completely by himself, and it's him against all these fucking assholes. Bunch of shenanigans go down. The match is fantastic. It takes like 35 minutes and it's brutal, and Kota Ibushi ends up winning the G1 and going. So now he's going to go on to Wrestle Kingdom to fight the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada. And that is so amazing because for so many years we've been waiting to see Kota Ibushi get this big shot, and he's finally got it. And like, if you've seen my video on wrestling, the last 10 minutes of that, like, that's him. He has been through so much and he has worked so hard. And he is one of the best, like, to me, he's the best fucking wrestler on the planet. And it's amazing to be following his journey. And, like, long term, what I want to see happen here is I want to see Ibushi take the title. I want to see him defended for an entire year. And then, depending on what's happening with AEW, I want to see Kenny come back and for the two of them to face off in the year after next Wrestle Kingdom. Because Kenny's done it all. Kenny's won the G1. He's been the New Japan champ. He's been like the New Japan World Champion. He's done all that stuff. Kota never has. But Kenny has never beat Kota. So there is still this really strong rivalry between the two. And it's just fantastic. And I think New Japan has had its struggles since Kenny left. But this was fucking great. And I got real emotional watching little Kota Ibushi hold that trophy. And it was just fantastic. If people want to watch another good match from the G1, I'd really recommend John Moxley versus Ishii. It was amazing. Guys, that's Wrestle Talk.
Thank you, John. That was really, really good. I think that was your best Wrestle Talk you've ever done.
Oh, I thought the last one was pretty good.
That last one was awful. But this one was good. Thank you, John.
It's quite all right. What do you think of it, Niamh?
Ibushi, like him, Becky, yeah, I don't care. No, wait, I do care. Someone had a Wolverine-inspired outfit in one of the wrestling things, and I thought that was pretty good.
I just want to take this opportunity to say to you, Niamh, I hate you so fucking much.
It's okay.
Like, not even playing. I fucking hate you so much sometimes, I swear to God.
I love Ibushi.
The three of us on this podcast are not friends. We fucking hate each other's guts.
Mm-hmm.
The only friend we have is you, dear listener. You are the crutch for this whole fucking shit show.
You're the glue that holds us together.
If you didn't exist, I'd never have to see these two people again.
So thank you for making me sit in my own kitchen. Thank you.
Strategy talk.
Bleh.
Bryan.
Yeah?
You bought a Retron 5.
I did.
Why don't you explain to the folks at home what that is?
A Retron 5, for those of you who don't know, is a clone console that plays retro games.
So when you say plays, do you mean like put your Super Nintendo games into this and it'll work?
Yes. It plays Super Nintendo, all regions. It plays Nintendo, all regions. It plays Sega Mega Drive / Genesis, all regions. It can also accept an adapter for the Master System.
Oh, cool.
If you want, but I'm not going down that route. But mainly it accepts Game Boy Advance downwards. So Game Boy to Game Boy Advance games.
Sure.
And if you want to play Game Boy games on HDMI, this is how you do it. I'm kind of thinking about things down the line. That's all I'm saying. I also play video games every lunch, and I'm burning through a lot of my old favorite games. So now I've moved on to Game Boy games.
What are you playing at the moment?
Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins.
What a fucking game!
Because we just beat Super Mario Land 1. That took an hour.
Was it hard?
Nah.
Jesus, I remember that game killing me when I was a kid.
Nah, that game's a piece of piss.
I don't think I ever saw like level 4 of that game.
You fight Tatanga in fake China. Tatanga is the alien that kidnapped Princess Daisy.
When I was a kid, I thought Tatanga was like the coolest fucker.
He's cool. He's just like a little purple alien in a spaceship.
Niamh, do you think we could have Tatanga in the?
I've never heard of this character until today, but yes, we can put him in the artwork.
He flies a little spaceship.
I don't know anything about Mario.
Since Smash Ultimate came out, there is high-res PNG art of Tatanga.
Where's Tatanga for Smash? Where's Tatanga for Smash?
The block ball ability is an unlockable ability in Mario Maker 2.
What's the block ball?
The shooting weapon you have in Mario Land.
Oh, weird.
It's not a fireball, it's a block ball.
Oh, yeah.
And it shoots diagonally rather than like horizontal.
And it has like weird physics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It bounces around the stage like an alleyway ball. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. That game's cool.
Yeah.
What color Retron did you get?
I got the grey one. I didn't want the black one because I find dust will show up on it and scratches to that kind of plastic vinyl are way more obvious. The default controller you get with it is the worst fucking thing.
It looks
ever.
so ugly. It's just a rectangle.
Let's see.
Yeah. And
oh, what?
Yeah.
It's kind of an ugly console.
It's not the best, but you can plug in other controllers into it. So I've got a SNES controller, and I also bought an 8-bit DOE Bluetooth controller, but I can't get it to sync. But I'm working on that. The 8-bit DOE controller, which is a completely separate thing, is just a third-party controller, but it works on this. It works on the Switch. It works on PC and Mac as well, and it's got built-in rumble, and it's a really, really nice controller. So I'm using that with my Switch with Fire Emblem, which we will get to later. But I kind of like this console because I hate modding and tinkering with electronics. I'd rather someone does all of that for me in advance, and I can just spend the full hour playing games rather than spending half an hour testing stuff and then half an hour going, this is working, but I wonder if I could do it better. I don't enjoy that. But the Retron 5 kind of eliminates a lot of that. I'm still kind of like figuring this console out because it's got save states built into it, and it gets around the whole piracy thing because you need the game cartridge to load the game. So you put in a Game Boy game, it dumps the ROM on the system, then you can play the ROM. So it's not actually playing the game, it's playing the it's a weird loophole. But it does remember where you left off, and you can also just have like 10 save states if you need to.
Yeah. And in terms of like the actual, like, because it is emulation.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to tell. Like I think I've probably played more SNES games emulated than I had when I was a kid. Like that's how I've experienced most Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, no, it looks completely seamless.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't be able to tell, but it's just the exact same to you.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same. And you can add in scan lines if you want to have the feeling. You can mess around with their aspect ratio. You can zoom in and out. It's got this cool thing with Game Boy games where you can pretend you have it plugged into a Super Game Boy for the SNES. And some of the Game Boy games, when you plugged into a Super Game Boy, they had custom borders. So the famous one is for Donkey Kong, the 1994 game, where it made it look like it was in an arcade cabinet. But you could plug in a Game Boy game and you could tell it that you're playing it through Super Nintendo, and it'll do the border for you automatically. That
Donkey Kong game is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that runs on a Game Boy as well as it does.
I really, really, really like the Game Boy, so it's cool to just play it on the screen.
Yeah, totally. Guys, I've been playing a little more Judgement.
How you feeling? Warmed up?
I think it's starting to get its claws into me a little bit.
How many hours is this?
10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm past 10.
I'm kind of mainly doing the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, we're kind of getting pretty deep into Kaito's backstory.
Okay.
Have you done that stuff?
No.
Because you were doing a lot of minigame stuff.
Yeah, I was.
The minigame stuff wasn't doing it for me just because I think the minigame stuff in other Yakuzas I was a little more invested in. The story's starting to open up now, and like some of the systems are becoming a bit more apparent, and kind of what I wanted to happen is kind of happening. There is more focus on being like a detective and kind of that kind of stuff, and I still think like it's still a little too much in the world of Yakuza for me, but I'm beginning to warm to these characters. All right, like they are kind of differentiating themselves in the way I like, and I think I'm just getting more used to the combat. I think the combat is still a simplified version of the Yakuza combat, and I think the Yakuza combat was already too simple, but I'm at least getting more of a feel for it, and like the fights never take that long. But mainly, I think just like the way the story is opening up is starting to get really interesting. It's becoming this really weird rabbit hole where it's like conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy, and some of them are like really, really fun, and characters that you didn't think were lying to you and all this kind of stuff. And I'm definitely gonna I need to play more. Like I don't have like an absolute, but it's the kind of thing where my first couple of sessions with this game, I had to drag myself back to it. Now it's kind of getting to the point where I'm sort of thinking about it even when I'm not playing it, and I'm kind of happy to be there. I couldn't see this game unless things like keep improving dramatically. I don't know if this is going to be a game that'll even be in like my top 3, but I'm kind of happy just to be like enjoying it. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give a little update on that. Niamh.
Mine is also a little update. I've been going back to Red Dead 2 online. I'm having a good time with my cowboy and my horse, Lisa Lasagna.
That's a name.
She's a good horse. I've been there's going to be an update where you're going to have kind of classes that you can kind of spec in.
Oh, cool.
Which I'm interested in that. I would like kind of a goal to nearly kind of go with, because like there is a story, but you're kind of really left to your own devices in that world. I've been spending all my gold and all my money on make myself look better, but I can't fix my ugly face. But there'll be an update where I can fix my ugly face, and I'm really looking forward to that as well, because this is the 3rd character I made, and this is the best looking I could get them.
So are you trying to make them pretty?
Like, just like not even pretty, just like not hideous.
What's your character's name?
Logan 2. Logan 1 died of ugliness, so Logan 2 is in existence.
Did I tell you I played some online?
Yeah, did you?
Yep.
Did you like it?
It seemed alright. It was kind of like my experience with a lot of like online games where you kind of play it, so you kill someone, they res and come kill you. You res, come kill them, and it's just an endless cycle of blood, and like both your bodies are like piling up. It was pretty fun. I was playing with a friend. My character was called Vampire Jim.
That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, he was a vampire.
I was having a bit of griefing issues. A hideout spawned, and you can, go take out a hideout full of enemies. So I was creep around the side. It was like getting all lined up, and I was like, okay, I'll go in here, I have my dynamite, and I'll do this. A posse showed up and killed me, and they took the hideout and took all the XP and obviously all the items, and every time I respawned they just kept sniping me because they were just like, stay away, we're doing this kind of thing. And that kind of sucked because they were all a real higher level than me, and I was just like, come on guys, I'm not doing anything, I'll probably kill one person, or 2 or 3, like I'm not going to ruin this for you. Yeah. But it was just like, just kill her, get her out of the way, and that kind of happened to me a bit, and that was a bit frustrating. But other than that, I miss the world of Red Dead. That game looks so beautiful. Like, it is so pretty. Yeah. And like putting it back in again, and just the lighting effects and the vistas and all the nature. I was like, man, I like being in the world and riding my horse and just hunting and getting some pelts and selling them. Like, I'm just like a botanist cowboy who's gathering plants, but I keep getting killed by other people.
I'm just botanist cowboy. That's your song, Niamh.
Thanks. Botanist cowboy. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm looking forward to the update. I like just being able to check into that world and do a bit of hunting now and then.
Cool. I guess we should talk about Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Man, that game sure takes a fucking downhill turn after the first couple hours.
Yeah.
What?
I am just not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, oh my god. I can't believe this game.
It's so good. Like, it's so good.
So do you guys remember in the last episode where I was like, oh, well, actually, I play it on hard, because,
I'm a real gamer.
Yeah.
Do you remember I said
I'm working hard.
Yeah. Well, that's not quite what I said.
That's what you said.
Yeah, I just really like a big brick slamming me.
Word for word. So did you decide
I'm
you did?
Super Eye Patch Wolf, and I'm gonna hijack this podcast with my cool voice, and that's why you should watch Naruto.
So I guess just for people watching at home, that wasn't actually me speaking. That was Bryan who said everything for the last couple of seconds, just in case that got confusing at all.
This is Bryan. That is absolutely not true. I haven't spoken for the last 3 minutes. I have no opinion of Fire Emblem. I don't talk ever on this podcast. I don't want to do this. I'm sweating and my skin is dry. I thought I was a seal, but I'm not.
You could just keep going.
I'm a soil.
Do you want me to bring out the moisturizer for you?
I know where the moisturizer is, but it's at the other side of the fucking
I think
apartment.
this has been kind of a weird podcast, but that sentence has bothered me more than
He needs
anything.
his Aveeno. His skin is dry, John.
I feel like sand.
He feels like sand.
I feel so coarse and rough.
You're not doing anything. It's your job.
I
You're
feel
the
like
host.
both your moisture is your own problem. I'll look after my moisture. Niamh, you look after Niamh's moisture. Bryan, you look after Bryan's moisture.
John.
That's been a pretty good fucking arrangement that's brought us to this point, and I think we should respectfully stick to it.
I don't want to talk about Fire Emblem anymore. I want to talk about how you can make me feel soggy again.
We're a video game podcast.
It's not a video game podcast anymore. It's a moisturizing
It's
podcast.
the world's strongest video game podcast.
It's not. We need to talk about do you want shea buttercream on you?
Oh, shea buttercream. That's some good stuff.
I want to smell like a cake. I just
Oh,
want
it smells so good.
I just want to smell like a nice candle. A really, really nice. Oh, I'm doing my moisturizer voice. Oh my goodness.
So I dropped down a difficulty level in Fire Emblem. Yeah, I hit a mission and it was like, it took like an hour to get through and it was really satisfying and like every move was like, oh fuck, this is really tense, you know, it was great. And then like one of my favorite characters got killed right at the end.
Who?
And I was like, fuck that. I think it was Bernadette.
Oh yeah, you don't want her to die.
No, I
She's
don't.
very
she's,
important.
She's great. I
But-
don't want any of these kids to die.
But I did one mission on normal and like I really steamrolled it. Has that been your guys' experience?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder now, should I be playing on hard but without permadeath?
I like permadeath though. So what I'm doing is, you can usually for most battles have like 10 characters. I do 6, or 5. And then I'll kind of use 5 one side and then 5 the next time to kind
Yeah.
of get everyone's XP up, kind of thing. So depending on the level of the battle and just like what I think it's going to be, I just cut my units.
Interesting.
You can play that game wherever you want.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah,
can.
and like that is cool. I do wish like there was a middle ground with the difficulty, because like it's kind of the only part of that game that I'm not like, this is fun. Like the visuals aren't amazing, they're kind of drab, but like other than that, everything else works so well. And God, like playing it on hard was frustrating, but it was so satisfying. I'm gonna try that. I will try cut my units and see if that works.
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
How much time do you spend prepping before an actual battle? Like you going through the inventory of every character,
yeah.
making sure they have
Everyone
like,
has a potion, everyone's weapons are up to snuff, everyone has a battalion.
because like to me, I always do that, but then I never have to improvise ever because I have all my bases covered that way.
Actually, one time I didn't bother because I thought I was okay, and Bernadette's bow broke, and she is like my sniper, so I was like, fuck. But I knew Petra had 2, but Petra was like another side of the map, so there was this like real moment where I was just like, I need to get Petra to Bernadette for her to give her this bow.
Yeah.
And like I had like
I love that happens.
Linhardt had warp and stuff, so it was like getting the two of them across to each other, and that was fun, and that would just kind of came from me being lazy. But it was fun.
Is the black mage in Black Eagles, Huber? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I fucking love that guy.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
he really wants to murder you.
Yeah, he does. It's been really, really fun, and I think the two things happened mechanically that's all really interesting. First, they introduced the Black Knight.
Yeah.
Death Knight.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I really like how he's in one level and they're like, just stay away from him.
But it's so cool that they introduced this character who in the story is this giant fucking badass. And like, it's not like you can just beat him. You have to stay away from him. Like, you have to react through gameplay who he is in the story. And that's awesome. Like, I love stuff like that. And like, I don't know if we're going to end up like, you know, fighting him much later on. But if you do, like, this is such a great way to foreshadow a big obstacle like that.
He has a cool reward if you do fight him.
Yeah.
He drops a dark seal.
Oh, I need one of those.
That's the only way to get one is to fight
Fuck.
is to fight him in that specific chapter very early on in the game.
Oh no.
And you need about 4 or 5 units to kind of like take on him all in one move, because as soon as it's his turn,
He'll wipe them out.
yeah, he'll wipe them all out.
So for me, like when I met him, I was playing on hard, and the way my units were, like, people could do damage to him, but they would be wiped out with his retaliation. Like he was just gonna kill them. And then I also had like my first encounter with a monster.
Yeah.
I love that bit.
I there's something about the monsters that I don't really enjoy fighting.
It's a very different
Yeah, it's kind of different.
beast.
Yeah. You are like just breaking down walls with them, I guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked it because I appreciate that it's very hard to do like a boss character in games like this, and that they kind of did go for it. And like I barely took that thing down, and when I did, it felt really good.
I don't think I get the battalions.
They're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They work better if you have 2 or 3 of your buddies beside you, then your battalion does way more damage because it'll combo-ish.
They're kind of just magic spells you equip that also give you stat bonuses that you can level up.
I always feel like my normal attack or my combat arts is like will do the job just as well.
So I think with a battalion, so say Bernadetta, her battalion for me is a heal. So I can attack with her from a distance, or if like there's no one to attack and I need a quick heal for like an AoE heal, I can use that. Or like fighting the Death Knight, the Death Knight, if I have some of my melee units are equipped with like a long distance battalion, so that I can, you know, I could attack him and not take any damage, not take any retaliation damage. It's pretty much just a way to give your units like an extra, either buff your stats that you're already good at, or give them like an extra option in battle. That's all it really is.
All right.
I think when I was playing on hard, it seemed a lot more necessary than normal. Did you guys hear about the like additional difficulties they're adding?
Oh.
No, so harder than hard.
Yeah.
They really need a mid-level between
They
the two.
really do, don't
Just-
they?
Yeah, just for the narrative. But like, yeah, the super hard stuff will be
So
fun for like
There's
your
one
late game.
called Nightmare,
Okay.
and the Death Knight moves freely in Nightmare.
No.
Yep.
He's so spooky.
He's so spooky, it's so cool.
I love his helmet. I can't wait until someone does like a really dope cosplay of that.
Yeah. He's pretty much a berserk character.
Yeah, you know he is. It does get a bit berserk.
It's kind of a 1-to-1. Like,
yeah.
oh, I love Death Knight and Berserk. You think he's really evil, but he's like, hey Guts,
Yeah, he's sound.
should probably put on some clothes. I'm still enjoying the hell out of that game.
Me too.
How are you guys getting on with it? How are you? Tell me about your friends.
I was saying this to you guys. I don't really like poaching other students
I love it.
for narrative reasons. I just think it's really weird that all the class would be in my class and I'd be stealing them.
See, I don't want everyone. I just want a select few.
Yeah, I get that. Like, because I'm really good at, like, Brian, when you asked me what weapon I was using, what special weapon, and I was just like, obviously I'm using the sword because that's the narrative weapon. And then I give Sylvain the lance because it's his family lance. Why would I take that from him? But so that's how I'm making decisions, is all very based around the characters and just taking care of them. So I haven't really... I've got Felix and I got Mercedes into my house, but I think I'm... And Manuela, which I think
Manuela's
is
great.
really weird to poach a teacher. But
From the other house.
yeah, that's just like, are they not being taught now? Like, what's happening there?
Who's Manuela?
She's the boob woman.
Niamh.
Look, she was just like, hey, can I join your house? And I was like, I don't see why not, Manuela.
She is spilling out of that dress. It's ridiculous.
I love Manuela. She's great.
She is.
She's such a like Cruella de Vil-esque character. I think she's really funny.
I like that. I like the girl who's always hanging out in the market. She's not a teacher, but she's like a mercenary.
Oh, Sylvia?
Yeah.
Sylvie?
Is this the orange-haired one?
No. She's another kind of goth-looking one. She's an archer.
Shamir.
Yes.
Shamir. Shamir's cool. Yeah, I have Shamir as well.
Yeah, I've got her too. She's very good. I ended up poaching nearly everyone from the Golden Stag house. And obviously in the time skip, you know, the houses are going to clash. It's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler.
I feel like we were maybe a little mean last week when he talked about people who would pick Golden Stag. And so I just want to kind of clarify.
You went to town on
I know.
them.
I just want to clarify that a little bit. All I meant really was like that if someone were to pick Golden Stag, I know I could never be friends with them.
I understand Golden Deer way more than I understand Blue Lions. I will
Blue
play
Boar.
Blue Boar. I will go
Well,
Lions
with
Deer next.
With Blue Lions, it's just like you have no confidence. With Golden Deer, you just suck.
There's a really, really good bit with Claude where they're hyping him up. They're like, I know he's all nonchalant, but that dude's a master tactician. Like, don't fuck with that guy. He had nobody left in his house.
Didn't account for that.
I took out the fucking trash.
And he's like sitting there with his like boards with like his pieces on the map, and he's like, oh, I don't have any.
He had no fucking he had no pieces.
Yeah. That is one of those games where no matter how long I play it, I'm never like, it's not that I'm not satisfied. I am satisfied, but like my want to keep playing it doesn't dissipate.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like dangerous like that.
It's such a time, like it just eats time.
Yeah.
But I love it for that. I feel like I haven't felt so sucked into a game in so long, but like all the characters are just really impressive. I love the voice acting in this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's,
fantastic.
Like, really like loads of little subtleties. Like Bernadetta is like, I don't usually like that type of character archetype, but I just love her so much.
Voice actress really sells
She's
some of
just
those
so
lines.
great.
Yeah.
I love the interpersonal relationships with all the characters. I love that Dorothea has little nicknames for everyone, and only she could get away with calling Hubert Hubie.
I have a
great.
question. Mm-hmm. How do you go for tea?
You invite them for tea.
No one wants to hang out with me.
Have you been to the tea gardens?
No.
You need to walk around the castle grounds and find the tea gardens.
Okay. Because for a while I just thought like no one.
Some people will not want to go with you.
Well, that's just like real life. Barely anyone wants to fucking hang out with me.
Everyone wants to go with me for tea. I'm cool.
I know.
I'm hip.
I get so stressed out by those conversations because like you're meant to like you get prompts that relate to the characters, but sometimes they're so nebulous. Like I asked Dorothea about cats, and it was just like Dorothea fucking hated that. Why would you say that to her? And I was like, oh, because they look so crestfallen and disappointed in you.
Niamh, that's just like your real life interactions with people, except there's no game to tell you fucked up.
Oh, I know. Completely.
Yeah, there's nothing. You done goofed. I think it's super interesting that Fire Emblem is like one of Nintendo's biggest IPs now.
Can you imagine like 10 years ago that like Fire Emblem and Monster Hunter would both be massively successful in the West?
Yeah, they're such niche games. I remember when Awakening came out in 3DS, it wasn't for sale in like Smith's Toy Shop, and they only got in like a certain amount into the GameStop, like the main GameStop in Dublin City Centre.
So I went to buy a physical copy of Three Houses. I couldn't get it anywhere.
It was already sold out.
Yeah, it was sold out in Smith's. It was sold out in a bunch of places. I ended up getting it, but yeah, it was people, and I saw apparently like it sold crazy well.
Yeah.
Do you think, other than it being really good, do you think because there hasn't been a lot of like I guess there hasn't been a lot of titles on the Switch this year, do you think that's been a reason for it doing so well? Like people who wouldn't normally pick up this type of game through word of mouth and just through nothing else really big coming out right now, it's just like, okay, I'll take a chance, and then that chance pays off because it's a really good game.
It seems like there's a mixture of that, but I also just think that like
I think the setting is a big part of it for people.
Just the idea of tree houses.
It's
and-
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's Harry Potter, Game of Thrones.
There's literally an owl hooting around, flying around the place.
Yeah.
But just the Fire Emblem has slowly built up a really good fan base, and like the community around Fire Emblem is really good. The fan art's amazing.
Yeah.
They have the mobile game that does super well. It's just like there's nothing like evil about Fire Emblem.
I think you're definitely right in terms of like big like Switch games out this year. There hasn't been that many.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of a, what's the phrase? It's a real kind of time and a place for Fire Emblem. I think that series has been slowly heating up for a while, and it's like the zeitgeist has hit big for Fire Emblem, and like a lot of people are into it, and like just the fact that it's such a quality game, like that's the main thing I feel about this game. It's so polished, like every part of it, and the way all the systems interact with each other. It's so easy to just get lost in it, and yeah,
Intelligent Systems make good games.
apparently so.
They're my favorite second-party developer for Nintendo. They also made the Paper Mario games before they went bad.
Did they still make Paper Mario games?
No, they do not make Paper Mario games anymore. That's why they're bad.
Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Quicktime Events. So, I was pretty happy about this. THQ Nordic hired one of the TimeSplitters co-creators to, they haven't said reboot the series, but to like chart the future of the series, which is kind of nebulous, but that sounds promising.
You could be very optimistic about that news.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have either of you guys played TimeSplitters?
Not in a long time.
Yeah.
I really like TimeSplitters 2, and it's got a map editor, and you could like make GoldenEye levels, which I was kind of. I did like 3 Future Perfect. I only played a tiny bit of it, but I love the whole thing about saving yourself in the past and in the future.
Yeah, 3 was different because it had like a story mode,
Yeah.
and 2 kind of did, but not really.
2 has a story mode in that like there's individual levels where there's sort of a narrative, but you play as a new character each time. Whereas
Yeah.
in 3 you're playing as the ball guy with the weird Chronicles of Riddick sunglasses.
TimeSplitters 1 was a launch title for the PlayStation 2, and it was just one of these games where like it was a shooter, but it totally had its own identity. The art style was really, really weird and out there, and in some episodes you were like fighting zombies, in others it was like a military base, in others it was like a sci-fi shooter. And the way it works is like all the levels were kind of, you go through a level, you steal an artifact or something, and when you steal the artifact, the TimeSplitters show up, which is these really fucked up weird time aliens, and you'd have to get back through the level fighting them. It also had like a really, really early horde mode, like it had a zombie mode before. I hope.
Gears.
Yeah. And actually well before Gears. It was really, really limited, but it was cool, you know. And I have a lot of really fond memories of like, you know, being in my early teens and playing TimeSplitters, and then like playing Tekken Tag and Dead or Alive. I was when I got my PlayStation 2, I just come home from the Gaeltacht. The only way my parents could get me going to the Gaeltacht was to say they'll get me a PlayStation 2 if I do. And so like I came home and we bought an offer where it had 4 games, and I got Zone of the Enders, Tekken Tag Tournaments, Dead or Alive 2, and TimeSplitters. And let me tell you, that is a fun lineup if you are a teenager with an entire summer to kill. It was some good stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. But that's really cool. I'd love to see this series come back in a big way. I don't know if it will. I think part of its appeal back in the day was that it was a shooter on a console. You know what I mean? And there's been so many of them now, and shooters have come so far. But I'd love to see where this goes. Guys, I got some amazing fucking news.
Yeah?
Are you ready? This is literally going to blow your brains out, so be careful.
Okay.
If you guys could have anything in the world, what would it be?
Kirby to say hello Bryan in his next game.
No. Okay. What about you, Niamh?
Kirby to say hello Bryan in his next game.
It's what we want.
That's right. Shenmue 3 demo is coming out next month.
Cool.
What? Are you guys just stunned or like?
I'm something.
Why would they do that?
Because it's gonna be so fucking awesome that Yu Suzuki is like, hey, games industry, why don't y'all just sit down and stop making whatever you're making? Because here is what I'm doing.
If I was them, I would just release it. But, I wouldn't let anyone play it or look at it.
Because it's gonna be more of a shock then when it's like a 10 out of 10.
Just trick people into buying it, because that's probably like, I feel like this demo might just scare people off.
Shenmue 1 had 250 individual characters that all plotted through their own day and night cycle.
Is
How many
this-
is Shenmue 3?
Yeah.
Well, they took that out of Shenmue 2, so maybe it's not going to be in Shenmue. But Shenmue 3
How long do you think this trailer will be?
trailer demo.
Sorry, demo.
I would guess like 30 minutes to an hour, maybe. I think we might do something. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know Fire Emblem's good, but like, what hope does it have against the might of Yu Suzuki at full creative power?
And full financial backing.
Yes.
And, a very, very tight schedule.
He can do it.
Oh, he'll do it alright.
I can't wait to exist in a world where we've all played Shenmue 3. Or at least that I've played Shenmue 3 and I'm telling you about how great it is.
So what happens if this game is actually good and you're like trying to convince us and it's like another Undertale thing where you're like, this game like really spoke to me emotionally and like we're just like, John, come on now, it's like stop taking the piss. And you're like, no guys, I know before I was hyping it up and I was doing a bit, but this isn't a bit anymore. This is the best game ever made. Like, what happens then? Like, who's laughing?
If we're
then?
breaking kayfabe, I really don't think that's gonna happen.
But like, maybe
I think the best case scenario for me in Shenmue 3 is, you know what? It's not for everyone, but there's some stuff in there I liked.
how about I play it and I'm like, this is perfect. This is better than Kirby.
Oh my god, that would be the weird one if you two liked Shenmue 3 and I didn't. That's a monkey's paw.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good bit that I might try and commit to. I think that could be my like prestige.
I think you're gonna hate Shenmue 3, Brian.
I think I will too.
I don't think you could fake it. You were so mad during all of Shenmue 1.
Yeah.
I don't like how he moves like a car.
We really want to do a playthrough of Shenmue 1, but Brian won't let us.
No, I don't want to play that game. And if people are like, oh, you should do it, Brian. I don't want to. He plays like a car with no wheels, stuck on the stairs.
Just because he has an accelerator button doesn't mean he plays like a car with no wheels. It was a logical choice at the time. There wasn't a lot of 3D games. Well, no, there was an entire generation of 3D games. Look, it doesn't matter. Yu Suzuki is a fucking genius.
Oh no, he is.
And if you can't see it, I'm talking to the person at home now, not just you two. If you can't see it, you are a fucking moron.
We're so mean this episode. And
It's cause you're dry.
yeah,
I'm dry.
No, Brian is
I'm
dry.
not dry.
Oh yeah, you're very dry, Brian.
I just think all tangents should be explored this episode because the news is so fucking bare.
Yeah, we're literally out
Yeah.
of news.
There's
This is it.
nothing.
Yep.
This is it.
Gamescom next week. People are waiting.
Except when this episode is out, Gamescom already happened. Okay, so how about we do our pretend, like, guys, Gamescom, what the fuck? That was amazing.
I can't believe Ryu Hayazuki is in Death Stranding. Holy shit.
So we find out that Death Stranding is a 5-hour experience. It's like Ground Zeroes or something like that.
And there's no boss battle or anything, and all
No.
that stuff is just a cutscene.
Oh, you know what? Someone linked me this on the Discord a while ago, and I don't know that we ever talked about it. There's a Penn and Teller game coming out.
I love those guys.
And do you know who is the producer on it?
Oh,
Randy Pitchford.
of course he
Oh
is.
no.
She loves magic.
Oh God, Randy.
I really like when Penn and Teller were in Sabrina Teenage Witch.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the craziest thing that ever happened.
They don't need to work with Randy.
Mr. Ass was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Mr. Ass?
Yeah.
Who's Mr. Ass?
Billy Gunn from wrestling. There was a wrestler in the Attitude Era called Mr. Ass.
I feel bad for him. That was a terrible name.
You shouldn't. He had an amazing ass.
Fair.
And his theme song was like, I like to hug him. I like to kiss him. He was back with asses. Oh, Trish Stratus was back.
Oh, cool. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Charlotte Flair beat the shit out of her.
Bad for Trish. Okay, one more piece of news.
Yep.
Gris, that game I liked for the Switch last year. It's kind of got that 2D animation style. Very nice. Maybe it's about depression. Maybe it's about compulsory sexuality, heterosexuality. Who knows? Maybe that's Niamh's theory. But it's available for iOS for €5. And I think it's definitely worth getting. If you have a Switch, maybe play it on the Switch instead or on PC because it deserves to be big.
Is it not on PS4?
No.
Weird.
I think it deserves to be on a big screen because it looks so pretty. And it's just got such a good calming vibe. But iOS is a good way probably to play it if that's your only way to play it.
Guys, what's how you move into some emails?
If you wanted to send us an email.
I got some thoughts.
Yeah? We have an email account.
Okay, I'm gonna email them to letsfightAboss@gmail.com.
Wait, you already knew it?
That's not our email address, Brian.
It's not?
No.
It's because
I'm a fool who emailed the wrong email address, and now my email has just it's out in space. It doesn't exist. It never got to who I wanted it to.
it's askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
That's askletsfightAboss@gmail.com. What's that, Niamh?
Ask Let's Fight a Boss at gmail.com.
Correct. Brian, what do we got?
Okay. This one is from Kevin. What kind of scammer would you be? Gives us some examples like iTunes gift card, Nigerian prince, street peddler, multi-level marketer, pyramid schemes, the whole thing. What's your angle?
Cafesman.
What's a cafesman?
So this is something I've been kind of thinking about for a while now because I like to go to cafes, but I have noticed that there is always a point if you're in a cafe where someone is going to be there with a laptop and they're going to need to go to the bathroom and they're going to be real lazy. And so at some point they're going to get up and go to the bathroom without taking their laptop with them. You get up, you grab, you fucking run, and you work every cafe in your city until you're a millionaire.
That's just being a thief, but cafesman does sound better.
Yeah.
I thought that your scam would be
You're
not
like a
really a
barista.
scam.
That's my scam.
Yeah, that
where's
you would
where's your laptop, asshole? You've been scammed.
that you would be like a seat filler if someone
Gotcha.
needed to go to the toilet and they were like, look, I don't really want to leave my laptop and my coffee, and then you'd be like, I'll sit in your seat for a $5 and let you do your business.
Yeah,
But you're not scamming someone then. That's way less of a scam.
Well, what you do
Yeah.
is you charge them the $5 and you take the laptop anyway.
I
Scam.
like that. Yeah, you're tacking on an alternate revenue source right there.
Because like the scam is they think one thing, but then it's way worse.
And like sometimes people be like, "Oh, would you mind watching my stuff?" And in my head, I'm like, "I'll watch your stuff, buddy." And I do, but I do think about stealing it.
It'd be kind of funny. It'd be so funny if they came back and you're there, and they're like, "Where's it gone?" And you're like, "Well, I don't know."
Give what's back.
Okay, so mine is ARG scammer.
Okay.
How would you make money out of this?
You set up an ARG. You get a bunch of very interested people involved. You get them down 2 or 3 levels into
Wait a minute. We have an ARG.
We do. Let's just see how we get on.
Okay.
Uh,
Brian, we should probably have a talk.
Don't worry. At the moment that thing's on pause and the next step hasn't been solved.
Or
yet.
is it?
Who knows?
Who knows? You get people a few levels down involved in it, and it involves multiple parties having to share credit card information with each other, and you collect that.
That is like the shittiest scam I've ever heard.
Yeah, but I've noticed with ARG,
Why don't you just ring on people's doorbells and be like, "Can I have your credit card?"
Give me your.
they
Give
won't
me
do
your
it.
shit.
They won't do it voluntarily like that, but they will if it's an ARG.
Although, no, I think Brian has a point, because I think people would get, if you can drag them down the rabbit hole enough and it get to the point where it's like, okay, for this next section, unfortunately, we have to use this service, so where like it's an encryption service or something, and you do have to actually pay like $2.50 in credit card fees, but the fee's a lie and you're just getting their credit card info.
Yeah, I honestly think people would do it.
Yeah, because if you bring them down far enough, they'll be like a, what's it called? Sunken cost.
Fallacy.
Yes, a sunken cost fallacy, and they'll be like, "Oh, I've been so far into this thing."
Yeah, just one step further.
Yeah.
And like you give them some shitty little breadcrumb, meanwhile you're just like scamming the fuck out of them. I guarantee that's happened, or
totally.
if not, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be this whole ARG thing, and it's like you're not supposed to do ARGs; they're not safe.
What about you, Niamh?
I ran a scam.
Of course you did. It's like the least surprising news.
So on like just piracy, I guess, but me and my brother used to burn copies of Photoshop when we were about just teenagers,
I used to do that.
and we used to take out ads in the Buy and Sell
Okay, no, I
and the
didn't do that.
Midlands Tribune selling a copy of Photoshop for €100, and we would send them to people. We sold about 6. We made around €600,
That's amazing.
which was a lot when you're like 14 and 15.
I used to
That's
do
so
that
much
with
money.
emulators.
I'd sell them to people in my class for like a tenner. I'd be like, "Yeah, give me a tenner and I'll give you an emulator and a bunch of games."
That's pretty good.
It was alright.
It wasn't a scam. Like, I mean, the Photoshop worked and it was cheaper than buying it, but it was a whole pile of old people from like the Midlands being like, "I like photography and I've heard about Photoshop." And I was just like, okay, here's a printed out
You're also
explanation.
providing it at a far better price than actual Photoshop.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah.
So like, I would like to say I'm like the Robin Hood of Midlands
Well, now,
Ireland.
that's a little.
Maybe if people would like to run with that as a
Of
concept.
Midlands, Ireland, digital arts, yes, but
Nowhere else.
I'm sure there's like way bigger drug deals going on in fucking sheds out in the middle of nowhere in Ireland.
I think I'd like to be a Nigerian prince either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd like to be one of those dudes who calls you up and is like, "Bad news, buddy.
Yeah, I really want a good sad story.
You got a virus on your computer. But don't worry, because I am fucking here for you."
I'm the doctor.
I'd probably just want to take someone on a date as a Nigerian prince. They just have to...
I'm not sure that's how that scam works, Niamh.
No, the scam is that they buy me dinner.
Okay.
But it's a really nice date.
I do really like the scam where it's like, I want to talk to you for financial advice, and it'll be like, they think they're gonna get like a big business deal the next day, but really they've just paid for your dinner.
I remember ages ago someone tried to scam me, and it was like, it was some, I think I was selling something on some like sales website, and they contacted me saying they wanted it, but they had to transfer me loads of money into my account. But it wasn't, there was some hook to it. There was some weird like fake thing to it, and like I could tell it was a scam. But I led them on for weeks, and it was so much fun. And every time I'd email them back, I'd make things a little stranger. And so eventually it ended with me sending them a photo of a skeleton holding a microwave in a graveyard and being like, "Thank you for the..." Halfway into it, I started writing like I was a skeleton, and I started asking them, "Where's my microwave?" And I go, "I gave you money for the microwave. Here is proof of me giving you money." And it was a skeleton's hand holding a bunch of dollars. And I kept going with that narrative, and it was really fun.
Scamming's weird,
Yeah.
but it's always got a good story.
Have you guys ever been scammed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought a PS4 on eBay.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
And they sent me a stapler box. And the stapler wasn't even the box. It was just the box. But they wrote my address on it bad, so it would bounce around all the mail depots, because obviously it was tracking because it was from eBay. And I've never been scammed from eBay before. So I noticed it bounce around because I couldn't find its way to me because they wrote in a partial address. But like, I rang, I got the tracking code. I was just like, I think there might be something wrong with this. Got it forwarded from On Post to my house. It was an empty stapler box, and I was like, well, that isn't a PS4. So, so I was like really pissed. So I had to take out a PayPal dispute, and I had to go to the Garda station and file a dispute with the guards and get them to sign a bunch of shit. And it was just really annoying because there was like a guy in front of me with a serious issue, and then afterwards I was like, bought a PlayStation on eBay and it was a stapler. And the guy was just like, that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I got my money back and it was fine.
Good.
But yeah.
I had a similar thing where I pre-ordered an anime figure off eBay, but I pre-ordered it 8 months before it was actually going to be released, and PayPal disputes only last 6 months. So what happened was I pre-ordered the figure, never shipped, or no, it shipped but it never arrived, and the seller closed their eBay page shortly afterwards, and I couldn't open up a PayPal dispute with them because it had timed out.
That sucks.
And I asked eBay and PayPal, and they were like, cut your losses. Like, don't do that again.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to pre-order off Ami because it always gets caught by customs.
Yeah.
At least if you pre-order from like a smaller seller, they can fudge the number on the box.
Or mark it as a gift.
Yeah, I like that. Except sometimes they get weird and uppity about it. They're like, we can't do that. That's fraud. And I'm like, that's why you gotta do it. It's cool. Gotta be a bit of a sneaky boy.
Come on, man.
It's cool. Just a little bit of theft. Just a little bit of rule bending.
Brian, why don't you pick us out another email? You've just let you know the email doc is updated as well. If there's anything you want.
I don't know how to get to that.
Okay, this one is from Anthony, and he has a buttload of questions.
Okay.
So he's got some questions for us specifically. Niamh, have you been keeping up with Land of the Lustrous manga? As of writing this email, the last chapter was chapter 80. Also, what are your thoughts?
I haven't been keeping up with it. I don't really read manga that much, which is a pity. I will get back into it. I still like it.
There you go. Okay,
we go.
This one is for you, John.
Uh-huh.
You get to pick 3 manga to get an anime adaptation or a re-adaptation if it has already been adapted. Which manga would it be, and which studio? What directors, etc.?
I think.
Like, would
like
you do
like Berserk's an obvious one because like
yeah,
the original I still love the original adaptation of Berserk. I think it's fantastic. There's so much of that manga that's never really gotten like a proper like series. You know what I mean? I would have said like I'd love to see Akira get a proper like television adaptation because there's so much of that story that never got animated.
Yeah.
But now that's getting animated. I would have said Grappler Baki, but the Grappler Baki one is pretty decent animation now. I'd say Yu Yu Hakusho, but honestly, like what do you do with that? Like I don't think you could do. I don't want to see Yu Yu Hakusho get like the Hunter x Hunter rework treatment. You know what I mean? But
how about Junji Ito again?
Yeah, that would be good. Give Junji Ito an anime adaptation.
Because the other one.
What? Nope. Just that fuck. I'd love to see Gantz get. Yeah, like that. Like if you got Gantz with like maybe David Pro or Madhouse, that'd be fucking amazing. I would love to see. I'd love to see Studio Ufotable do a Berserk one. They're the guys who do a lot of the Fate stuff, and they did Kimetsu no Yaiba as well. But then like it was something like Berserk where it's so established and there's so many adaptations. Part of me is like, let's get really fucking weird with it. Let's see like what Berserk looks like from Shaft. Let's see what a Yuasa Berserk looks like. You know,
Claymation Berserk.
Hell yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, get the studio that did the Rilakuma series. Get them to do Berserk.
I don't know. Honestly, a lot of the times with anime, I do kind of feel like there's nearly too much adaptation. I would rather see more anime series written from the ground up as anime series, like not be designed, not be adaptations, but just be anime. So because like, you know, that's what leads to stuff like Cowboy Bebop or something like that, where it's like it's not based on anything, it's just all of it's designed to take advantage of being an anime. That's the stuff that gets me really excited with anime, as opposed to like thinking about a series that, you know, would make a great adaptation. I mean, you get stuff like Mob Psycho and, you know, really interesting stuff like that, but other than that, a lot of adaptations, they're okay. Like, did you see the Dr. Stone adaptation, Brian?
No, not yet.
It is the most, like, they have made an anime out of Dr. Stone and there's nothing to say about it. It's not bad at all.
The drawings are moving.
The manga panels, they now look like anime shots. Like,
great.
It's like, it's fine, but I would never watch this over reading the anime or reading the manga, because the manga looks so good.
To me, that sounds like the Bakuman anime.
Yes.
Who the fuck gives a shit?
Like, it's not a train wreck.
No.
But
like, why bother?
Why? Yeah, why? That would be my thoughts on that.
Okay, and then for me, since Kirby Fun Pack is one of your favorite games ever, what are your thoughts on Kirby Superstar Ultra? That is the DS remake of my favorite Kirby game. I think it's cool. It makes it more accessible because everybody has a DS, and that game is super easy to come across. The only thing I don't like about that game is I don't really like the 3D visuals that they put in instead of the original cutscenes. I kind of miss them, and they changed King Dedede's scream, which I didn't like. I really, really didn't like that. So bad game.
No good. Bad game.
And then we got some hypotheticals here.
Okay.
All right. Let me try my best reading this. Each of you are placed in a scenario where you have to choose between shooting the real person and a doppelganger. I.e., John has a gun and he has to choose between shooting a fake Bryan and a real Bryan. What is the first question you would ask? Which one is the doppelganger? So how would you tell me and fake Bryan apart? Or Niamh and fake Niamh? Or John and fake John?
I think the fake Niamh would try and be nice to me.
I don't like what you're implying.
Why?
I'm plenty nice.
To me?
Usually, yes.
Come on,
Niamh. Yeah, come on. Are we talking here? Or are we talking?
I like being mean to him too. Come on, let's go on.
She'd be a really bad doppelganger if she didn't like get the basics.
I like how a moment ago you were like annoyed, but now you're like, no, that's the simplest.
Okay. For you, John, I would ask what happened the second morning of the night when we were in London, because only that John would know. And then Niamh, I would ask Niamh, what is the two birds with one stone story?
I'm gonna get shot because my memory's bad. What? What?
I can't say it on the podcast.
Okay.
I can't say either. See, the thing is, I can't say either of these on the podcast because they were told in such confidence.
No, you cannot.
And see, that's how you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, assuming that our doppelgangers only kind of look like us and have basic, like sounds like us and basic mannerisms, like Brian's doppelganger just asks movie questions, just asks dates, name every character in Twin Peaks and what else they've been in. Like, go, and whoever can't do it gets shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask John and John's doppelganger to do a wrestle talk, and whoever can go the longest is John, and the other one gets shot.
Case in point. How would I figure out Brian's doppelganger? See, the way I'm thinking about it is like the doppelganger probably has access to the internet and they've probably done their research. So they'd know a lot about them. So it nearly has to be something like...
You've got to ask me something personal.
Yeah.
You've got to, like, you know what I've seen. You know what we've done. You know the weird shit that's happened.
I guess try and confuse them. Like, if you're really Brian, show me that weird growth on your back. And real Brian be like, what growth? know, and the doppelganger might assume it has a growth.
Yeah,
see,
so you
see this.
growth.
I don't know if this would work or not, but I might ask Brian. Brian, what's the best video on YouTube? Yeah, I think you get it.
Oh, I get it. You could also ask me what birding is, and I could honestly tell you what it is.
That's it. I'll just ask.
Okay.
What birding is.
All three of us know what birding is, but our doppelgangers do not know what birding is.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
Yep, that's the way.
God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I might ask Niamh's doppelganger to sing one of her weird lesbian songs, because even if the doppelganger knows the song, no one could ever move in the strange way Niamh moves when she sings those songs.
Just some interesting shapes that the human body...
Very expressive hand actions that I don't think...
It's called interpretive dance, John.
I'm a little teapot, sad and proud. Here is my agenda, and I'm fucking loud.
Here's my handle. Let me eat you out. No. My poetry's very good. And by good, I mean terrible.
That's some slam poetry right there.
Oh boy.
You were forced into a gladiatorial combat, but can only choose a weapon that isn't typically considered a weapon. What non-conventional weapon would you choose? Okay, for me, it's a cereal box, and I'm gonna fucking paper cut this shit out of you.
What, a cereal box?
Yeah,
That's
I
quite
don't know
thick.
about that.
Yeah, I'd take like
Ream of
printer
A4
paper.
papers.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a specific box. I can make it work. I know how to handle. I mastered this box.
You mastered the box. Okay.
What about you?
I got a good one. Box of Lego.
Fucking Lego is so awful.
Just drop it all on the ground. Fucking body slam them onto it.
It's the worst thing.
I saw that happen in an indie wrestling show once, and it was so much worse than when they do thumbtacks.
I can imagine. That or like toy soldiers or just like toy horses or some crap like that.
Or like a 3-pin socket facing up.
I was just thinking that.
Standing
That's
on that.
so fucked
Standing
up.
on that's the worst.
Yeah, oh, that's so painful.
Niamh,
Your
your non-weapon weapon.
Non-weapon weapon. A golf club. No, that's cheating. I understand. Okay. Just a microwave. You could throw that at someone's head.
I like the microwave is interesting because it's kind of the all or nothing, right?
You get one shot.
There's a bit in Drill Bit Taylor towards the end where there's a fight scene because the bully has a samurai sword, and Drill Bit Taylor doesn't know what to do, so he hits him with an Xbox 360, and it's really funny.
Imagine hitting someone with an Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a console.
Okay, for me, then it's the GameCube because it's already got the handle. But like, it's really, really close quarters combat because of how like short range it is.
The PS2 is very sharp.
Yeah.
And heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, the original controller for the Xbox with the cable so you could swing it and use it as kind of a mace.
The Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a kid in my primary school, and he was like a little bit fucked up, but no one really knew how. They did an IQ test on him once, and he had like a crazy high IQ.
Okay, so he's a supervillain.
Yeah, but he was also like an idiot. Like he was really dumb. And everyone knew he was kind of weird, and sometimes he'd follow us home, and like I'd humor him because I had nothing against him. But one time, one of my friends just made some like, you know, slagged him off somehow, and not in a real bad way, just in the kind of way guys do. And so we're walking along, and then my friend goes, "Whoa!" and he ducks, and a cinder block smashes behind his head.
Whoa!
And like he ducked, and the cinder block went over his head and smashed on the wall behind him. And we all look, and it's this kid he'd made the joke at. the kind of fucked up guy. And it was this real weird moment where it was like, you nearly just killed this guy. And we all beat the shit out of him.
Teenagers.
Yep.
Okay. If you could create a holiday, what would it be called? What would you celebrate? What are the traditions of this holiday?
Well, this isn't a holiday, but I originally had a plan that if I ever was to take over the world, I'd force people to live in N-shaped houses and drive B-shaped cars. Just for no other, because it would just be like really bad architecturally and it would just make no sense and everyone would hate it, but it would just be for my own narcissistic need. So it would just be my initials everywhere. So it'd be Metropolis made out of N and B. Like
I'll never forget the time we were at that company we used to work at, and you had to do like a billboard design or something like that, and then like I was looking at it, and I switched off one of the layers, and you had done a Niamh billboard behind it just for your, like, you didn't show anyone. I wasn't meant to find it, and just I remember being like, what is wrong with this person?
I do that with all my layouts. There's always something hidden in it.
Just a very special guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
My holiday would be Kirby Day. It's not on his birthday because that's his birthday. You know, it's not fair to have like the same thing on your birthday. Like, I feel bad for people whose birthday is December 25th. Like, I think Kirby's birthday is in like
It's their own fault.
I think Kirby's birthday is in September, so give it like 6 months gap. That could be Kirby Day. And there's just like,
Bryan, you are so into half birthdays.
half birthdays are a thing.
They're not.
They're
They're
really not.
so not.
So
One time we all went out, and I figured out on the like night out that it was Brian's half birthday, and he had orchestrated this whole dinner.
So Niamh and I have each other's half birthdays.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
you're 6 months apart.
Yeah.
that's super
Oh,
cute.
that
Okay,
is
now
cute.
I'm into half birthdays.
Yeah. And John is John. How about John Day is on your half birthday?
No, I don't need a half birthday.
Okay, what's your
Doesn't-
holiday then?
Okay, so with holiday, this is like, because when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking like a holiday as a trip.
No.
No,
That's a
no.
vacation.
Yeah, this is like a
Ah.
a religious or public holiday.
Yeah. See, this is from someone in America, so the
Like-
holiday to them is like a.
Niamh Day, everyone gets branded with an image of my face.
It's just you giving the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Can I give my idea for a vacation?
Yeah. okay.
Sure.
I would like to take all my friends to a nice snowy lodge where we could just enjoy ourselves for a couple of days and just completely chill out and just everyone has a nice time. But then on one of the nights, we have a fight club and we all fight each other and we never talk about it again. But I just really want to see all my friends fight. It's all I want.
Oh,
I would love to see you two fight.
let's just see how we get on.
Let's just see how we get on.
I'm well up for a fight if you want to.
I like all of that up until the fighting part, but what happens if one of us is found dead in the morning and then it's a murder mystery?
Oh.
I'll be the body.
That just makes it better.
Yeah.
And for some reason you don't move me because I'm faking. You just leave me there and I'm kind of disappointed in you with that. I was like, they didn't even pick me up. But that would be a good holiday. I think a murder mystery holiday would be good.
That'd be great. We're like each
I
household.
think we could. I think the tournament would be a good backdrop for the murder mystery. Like maybe it's the winner of the tournament who ends up dead.
That's not a good prize.
No, it's not a prize though. It's more like, oh wow, they won, fair play to them, and then everyone goes to sleep, and the next morning. But
That
it's
is
like,
dramatic.
but who could have done that? They were
Maybe
the
it was the
strongest.
concussion.
And as for an actual holiday, I don't know, Fight Fest, go fight your enemy and you pick the person you hate most in your life and the two of you go out into a field and have a fist fight and afterwards you're both cool with each other. That's my holiday, Fight Fest.
That's a good idea. So for Kirby Day, you all get free candy floss and the buses show up on time. That's it. Just works out. Okay. You get a pair. Okay, you get a magic pair of pants that allow you to pull an infinite amount of any one specific object of your choosing out of the pocket. What is that one object?
Like a €50 note.
Yeah.
Like
over and over again.
Yeah.
What about like Fuji dust?
What the fuck is Fuji dust?
You know, fucking Fuji dust. You take it out of your pocket, you throw it at someone's
That's
eyes.
just sand.
Yeah, fine, sand.
You just want sand in your magic
You want pocket sand like Dale from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I like Niamh's idea of 50s because like
If I had some pocket sand,
Yeah, yeah.
if I had
People
some
won't
pocket
take
sand right now, you two wouldn't.
I'll give you a magic 50 to fuck off.
Well, and then I'd pocket sand you and take another 50.
You'd have to reach your hand into my pocket, which I know you would never do.
That's very true.
Hmm.
I'd take the 50 and roll it up and throw it into you. And make like a nice noise.
What's in your magic pants, Brian?
What's my pants?
What's my pants?
Brian has magic shorts.
I have magic shorts and they're like combat shorts, so they've got the bits on the sides.
Wow, can you put like a different magical item in each pocket?
No, you only get one thing.
Okay, that's fair.
Pulled pork burrito.
From your pants.
Yeah.
The only person who would eat that is you, so you wouldn't even solve like hunger or help out your friends.
I don't give a shit about anyone but me. Obviously.
What about like glitter, so that whenever you say anything
I hate
funny,
glitter.
Why do you just want like
Whenever
stuff is so
whenever
itchy.
you
Granular
say anything
shit.
funny, you could like take it out and just toss it up in the air, and you could just keep.
what happens if you just put your hand in your pocket and and you pull out rice or gravel?
That's so bad for pigeons.
Yeah,
Or,
Jesus
like,
Christ,
ash.
Niamh, that's awesome.
You know what I want? I want like just moisturizer, and it's not even in a tub. It's just a dollop of moist. You put it in your hand,
What
and you
about,
take it out,
like-
and it's just all over
What
your
about
fucking
like
hand.
just hundreds of tiny lizards, and you can just fucking toss them at people?
just little?
What about that, Niamh? Is that better?
I prefer that because like at least you're like making life. I guess the lizards can do their thing, and you could use that that's more impressive at a party.
I feel like you
instead
would-
of being like
I
you're
feel like you've really ruined that party.
I think it'd be cool if you took out and it was another pair of pants. And you were like, I don't even need these, but here's a pair of pants for you. And they're like, do these pair of pants do anything? Like, is there an infinite pair of pants inside the pocket of this pants? And you're like, fuck no, these are just pants, you
Don't
idiot.
be stupid.
Don't escalate this. Okay. You get to put wings on any animal of your choosing. What animal and where on its body? Do you want like a cow with like little wings on each of its hooves?
Oh,
So it's like just gliding along a little bit. Like it can't actually lift off the air that much.
Jack Russells with 2-meter eagle wings.
Jack Russell's. I mean, yeah, but like if you got a mean one, then they'll just be biting your face.
It's your own fault for pissing it off.
I want birds to have extra wings on their tummies so they can fly upside down if they choose to.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Although you might fuck them up and they might not be able to fly at all.
Good. Do you know what? It means they can never land.
I
They're just always
I
flying.
wouldn't put wings on a cat because I feel like they already have a lot of evolutionary advantages, and we're playing with fire there.
Yeah, we are.
I feel like just dogs in general might be too dumb for wings.
They would be crashing into
Yeah.
buses and shit.
They just chase like shit into power lines.
Do you know what's really upsetting? Horses with wings.
That's just a Pegasus that exists, John. It's beautiful.
No, because you'd be on like Dublin bus, and then next thing you just hear, "Roar," and a fucking dumb horse would crash into the side of it.
God, there'd be some lad with like just with the horse flying around.
Finally, give rats wings so people can stop calling pigeons rats with wings, because then rats will have wings.
That's very specific, Niamh.
I just think it's kind of mean to both rats and pigeons.
Niamh likes rats.
I do. I used to have pet
Rats are great.
They're
Pigeons suck.
Great. Oh, pigeons are cute.
Have some live on your balcony.
Okay. Well, yeah.
They're parasites.
No, they're not. They're birds. Look, they're fine.
I like the galaxy pattern that they have in their necks sometimes.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although it looks like that because they're oily and weird.
Oh yeah. I don't like pigeons, but I despise seagulls.
You know, I'm not a big fan of winged creatures in general. I think they're cowards. Why can't you come down here and just deal with life like the
What
rest
about
of us?
penguins and
Well,
ostriches?
Okay,
fucking
okay.
ostriches
You
are
just brought up two completely fucking different things. First of all, penguins absolutely love and respect penguins because they live on the ground like normal creatures, like
And-
God intended.
And they tap dance.
They do loads of cool shit.
Ostriches are like, they are hell creatures. They're the worst.
Maybe I would give ostriches back their ability to fly.
So they can fuck off, yeah.
No, so they'd be just terrifying. I rode an ostrich once.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Niamh. No, you
It
didn't.
sounds like a made-up story.
No, there's literally nothing in Offaly. I didn't see a courgette until I was 20. But there was an ostrich farm where you could go and ride ostriches. Serious, rode an ostrich.
I don't think I'm ever going to believe this.
Dude,
And I think you might be telling the truth.
I am. Me and my brother rode an ostrich. We didn't really want to. Our mom brought us there and she's like, get on.
do you sit on it, or does it have a saddle, or how does it work?
No, you sit on and like you feel like you're slipping all the time and you just hold their neck like
Yeah,
that.
because
And
like
is the ostrich not like... Can't they like... Aren't they...
They're on a track. Like it's like a really narrow run.
Right. Are they not quite dangerous?
Yeah, they are. I don't know why they brought us there. It's the Offaly. It's the Wild West of Ireland.
because they're always like hissing and stuff at the zoo.
Yeah.
They're not happy animals.
Niamh, that really bothers me, that story. I really wish you hadn't told it.
There you go. Sorry.
So if you want to send us fan art of Niamh,
I'd
on an
love to see
ostrich,
some Niamh fan art on an ostrich. That'd be great. Thank you.
and she's just saying Happy Niamh Day, everyone, while everyone else is driving around in their fucking letter B cars, but she has a fucking ostrich. If you just want that, and just maybe send some moisturizer, please.
Just in an envelope.
Yeah, I can take care of the rest.
And if you want to round it out, please go out and fight your best friend also.
All right, we got one more question of these hypotheticals.
Okay.
You are an ultimate student in Danganronpa. What is your ultimate ability? For me, it's ultimate chicken wing eater. I am the chicken wing champion.
So this is the thing you're really good at. The best
Yeah,
in the world
I'm
at.
so good at chicken wings.
I don't think I'm that good at very many things.
You don't want to be like ultimate anime YouTuber or some shit like that.
Jesus Christ, boy, do I not.
Do you want to be ultimate sad?
Yeah, ultimate sad.
It's just really, really, really good at being sad.
I am.
Okay. Niamh. It could be anything. Like, there's a character in Danganronpa, and he's ultimate hamster breeder. Like, he's so good at breeding hamsters.
Ultimate cartwheeler.
Yeah, that counts.
Just really good at doing a cartwheel.
Wow, we're like the three lamest ultimates ever.
What are you talking about? I eat chicken.
Yeah, my mistake, Brian.
Yeah, you take that back. That's it with all these questions. Thank you, Anthony. That was a spectacular email.
Yeah, boy, we sure went on a journey there.
Yeah, I hope you have a great day, Anthony. No one else.
No, nobody else.
This next question is from Oshin. Hey Niamh, Brian and John. Recently a friend has gotten into a game that was very formative for me as a teenager and is still super important to me. This guy is someone who is honestly sort of shitty and I've been trying to distance myself from them, but still someone I can't really avoid talking to regularly. The problem is, for some reason, seeing him get into this game is very upsetting. It's hard to explain. Do you have any advice on how to approach this? Have you ever had any experience like this with media that's important to you? Thanks so much for reading and also the podcast.
I can see how that would be annoying, having something you really love and then having to hear someone you don't really like's bad opinions on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you shouldn't gatekeep media, and obviously you're not doing that, and it's that kind of... I really wish they didn't know about this,
Yeah.
but it's too late now. And maybe it's something that was very personal to you and got you out of a tough time, or maybe it just kind of took away from, like, maybe your day-to-day problems, but all of a sudden a day-to-day problem is related to the thing that took you away from them, I guess. It is annoying.
I think unless, like, if the idea of it is bothersome, then that's kind of, you gotta get over it. If they're talking to you directly about it and that's what's annoying, you can just be like, I think you need to experience it without my input. Because then that's pretty neutral.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or you just go, I've spent so much time with this that I don't really want to kind of revisit it again, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I just give them your blessing, but you don't have to talk about it.
Niamh, this is what you say whenever I get into a game you like.
Now we know.
that is not true.
No, it's not. It's not.
I was just like, is it? I was like, uh-oh.
This is pretty good. I
get the. I think it's sometimes like it is kind of nice when like you find something and it's like, oh shit, and it's like no one else talks about it, and so you're it's kind of like this blank canvas to kind of nearly have any opinion you want about it. Does that make sense?
It's your weird little happy thing.
Yeah, and then when someone else gets like super super into it, it can be like, oh, this used to be my thing.
But it's not just even someone else, it's someone else who's kind of shitty that you don't really like.
And that sucks.
Yeah, because then it means you something in common with them that is very personal to you, and they're relatable all of a sudden, and you didn't like being relatable with them, and it's dumb.
Yeah.
Human brains are weird. It's okay. Just remember that you got there before it was cool.
I guess like the thing is always going to be the thing for you, and like a completely different version of it could like exist in their mind, and it's great that it was what it was to you, and other people's kind of input in it doesn't really need to change that. And in terms of like interacting with them, I think Niamh's advice is really good, where it's just like, you should experience this without my input. That's a good line.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Do you want to go with the top one there?
This is from Caitlin. My question for you guys is, what you all listen to, watch, or otherwise have in the background when you're working?
I don't know. Like, do you guys listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
I don't really listen to podcasts.
Really?
I'm kind of hurting for some podcasts. I'd like to find some more.
What happened to me was I was super into them a year or two ago, and I'm just taking a break. I'm slowly getting back into audiobooks because I was binge watching a bunch of TV shows, but like, what happens is you kind of like dip in and out of stuff, or at least that's what happens at me.
That's absolutely what happens to me with audiobooks.
So like, I watched the first 2 seasons of Desperate Housewives again, thinking I could just like fucking astronaut the whole fucking thing. Can't. That show's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like you know how now TV is like better than it's ever been?
Yes.
Desperate Housewives was made just before that, so it's like a really well made soap opera.
Yeah. The strongest I've ever had that was Heroes. Going back and watching Heroes now, like, you remember it being this big fucking deal, and it's so corny now.
And like nothing happens in an episode.
No.
Like, fuck all.
There's some YouTubers I like who would be very like not intense with editing. Like they wouldn't really do a lot of editing, and sometimes their video stuff, their essay stuff can be really good for like if you're not paying full attention. Like kind of Big Joel sometimes puts out videos where it's kind of just him in front of a camera for a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a talking head.
Same with Jenny Nicholson as well. Although I think some of her jokes are funnier when you're actually looking at her. But like, if you want, you can kind of like go through some of her back catalog and just kind of listen to her talk about stuff. I found a guy recently called Jujitsu. He's a jiu-jitsu YouTuber.
Yeah.
And he just talks about, he's like just this really big, nice guy who talks about fighting a lot, and he's really cool. And he talks a lot about how to be cool to the people you're fighting. And I really like him.
Yeah. I like watching tutorial videos on something. So like, when I wanted to get a pet hedgehog, Little Biscuit, I watched lots of how to mind hedgehog video tutorials. And you can't concentrate 100% on them, but they're all more or less the same video. So if you watch enough of them, you'll get like the first 10 minutes of one, the last 2 minutes of another, and you combine them together into one cohesive video.
Yeah, and that's a good way to learn about stuff, because the points that keep coming up in the different videos is obviously like the stuff you really need to pay attention to.
Yeah, and then all the underlap stuff is just personal opinion. It's great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to true crime ones, Case File, being my favorite. Cult podcast. I like horror movie podcasts. I like Fright Day podcast. I really like listening to audiobooks, and I have an Audible subscription. I've had it for like 8 years now, so
Wow.
I've been
That's a long
going.
time.
Are you
Yeah.
like a wash in credits, or do you use it every month?
I use my credit every month, kind of thing.
I'm really into scumming Audible, where like I'll do a trial and I get credits and then I leave and then they give me more credits.
They've kind
to
of
stay.
stopped that a little bit. Like you
Yeah,
used
'cause
to
of
be
me.
able to, buy credits because it's cheaper than buying the books and then kind of cancel. But you need to be like a 2-month subscriber before you can buy credits again. So it's kind of sucky. But just really enjoy audiobooks. It's how I do all my reading now. I watch a lot of YouTube, down a lot of leftist YouTube holes. Tot Slime, Cat Black, just
Cat Black's cool.
some fun stuff there.
BreadTube's gotten very strong.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people making good content. Jenny Nicholson is always just like, I kind of rewatch her videos all the time just because they're good to listen to. She's so funny.
She's so funny, yeah. Her editing is like I said earlier, like people who don't do a lot of editing. I guess I mean people who don't use a lot of visuals, because her editing is actually really funny. Like she
Yeah.
knows exactly where to cut a joke to make it so much funnier.
And they're just like, they're long, but they're never long. Like, once like they're finished, I was just like, God, I'd rewatch it again. I like Jenna and Julian, like Jenna Marbles. Her videos are quite easy to digest.
She's old school as well.
Yeah.
She's been
Yeah.
doing it forever.
But she's so humble and she's real into like
Her dogs.
Yeah, but putting herself under fire with like the doing funny makeup, but it's to herself, and like taking herself down a notch. and
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
she's not like weird about wearing a silly outfit. She's done a bunch.
I like figure reviews as well, for the same reason, where you can just like watch loads of them, and you'll pick up kind of the basic things of each one, and then the one that really interests you can focus on. Stuff You Should Know is always a favorite podcast, because it just like takes a thing and explains it to you, and that's always fun. Yeah, that's
So
it.
is there stuff that like you guys enjoy, but like you have to be watching it 100%?
I don't watch movies or TV's shows while I'm working, because I can't.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
I
always
can't do
looking
that
up,
at all.
and I feel like I'm nearly discrediting the movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of my like favorite YouTubers, and most of these would be people who'd put out a video like every couple of weeks or like every couple of months even. If they release something, I have to like sit down and watch it. Like I can't have that on in the background.
There are some TV shows I call folding laundry TV shows.
Yes.
Like the
Friends.
Friends, some of the more recent, well, not recent, but like sitcoms that have been going on for more than a decade now, like Modern Family. That's very easy to just fold laundry to.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to pay 100% to that show anymore.
You don't. You used to.
Yeah, you used to, but it's not bad. It's just it gets less attention.
With shows like that, you think you have to get into the ecosystem first, like focus on it first for a few episodes until you know the characters and kind of stuff, and then you can kind of watch it passively.
Yeah, like to me, it just feels like a radio play at this point. And sometimes you look up and someone's mugging the camera, and
Ooh.
that's it.
Radio plays are really good. BBC does great ones. I really like listening to those as well. It's like the perfect marriage of an audiobook and theatre, I guess, because it's multiple voices.
And sound
That's fun.
effects.
Yeah. BBC have Carmilla up for free, and that's a really good book. The first vampire story. She bites a titty.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Probably gonna have to censor that.
Is there any part of this podcast that we need to edit?
Probably my little rhyme. Let's get rid of that.
Oh no. Like that
could-
was really funny.
That was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think, and like it's fine.
Yeah. I think if anyone's listening to this part and they're like, I agree, we all agree, it was cool. It exists.
Look, this is how we discuss the podcast. The boys vetoed me.
I do think we got an email before where someone was asking, Do we, you know how we say we should edit it out, but then we don't?
Yeah.
What's the stuff we actually edit out?
I think we answered that on our big email podcast.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, let's edit that out. Let's not. It's just goofs, like actual technical goofs rather than just sentence stumbles.
Do we want to take another email, or are we done with emails now?
Brian.
I'm emotionally done. I can't do this anymore. But you know what I can do?
What can you do?
Patreon shoutouts.
Patreon shoutouts. So Brian, I really want you guys to do a full Let's Play. Like, I'm enjoying these one-off videos, but I need the whole cow. The milk isn't cutting it anymore.
The thing with that is that it takes a lot of time and effort to produce.
Look,
those.
I know, but like, surely there's something.
But you could support us
Oh?
on Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/LFAB.
Okay, and like, what kind of pricing we talking?
$3 a month.
Okay, so just plus like the cost of stamps and envelopes to actually send you guys the 3.
No, baby, It's all digital.
You just PayPal that shit.
Holy shit, that's so easy. So I could literally go there right now.
You could stop listening to this podcast altogether and just pretend to listen to it from now on.
Oh wow, that's great.
Just imagine that you've like $3 bills and you're tucking each one into all of our back pockets. Well, it goes into my back pocket. It goes into Brian's combat pants.
Yeah.
Combat. And John, you can kind of put it between his barra titty.
Oh yeah.
And that's how you do it. That's how we accept the money.
I love John's chest so much.
Oh god, guys.
What's wrong, John?
We all love an anime titty.
We all love an anime titty. So,
Strapping young boy.
we're getting right up close to that Let's Play. And so if people just find like 6 of their stupidest friends and get them to contribute to the Patreon, we're going to be right there.
Like real fucking numbskulls.
But yeah, it's the Patreon has been, you know, we kind of say it every now and then, but it's been really cool, and just really appreciate, you know, everyone in the Discord, and just it still blows me away that we get the support we do. And if you'd like to become a part of that, you know, you maybe wander over to patreon.com/LFAB.
We would be very humbled, and we would not be sarcastic in the slightest. The whole situation is very like ridiculous, and our coping mechanism is to be like wacky about it.
Yes,
because it is.
so.
Sincerity kills us dead.
Yeah.
It's our Irishness. But it's all very appreciated.
Yeah, thank you guys. Anyway, we have a Discord. We have a thing called the shoutouts. We'll say whatever you type, and it'll sound a little bit something like this.
This is from Grady Baby. And Grady Baby says, "This podcast is so good. It's good." Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Finally, some recognition.
All right, this is from Zenkai Jordan. All hail our reigning queens, Brain and Gnome. Sorry, Jam, you did your best.
In fairness, I did do my best. This one comes from Forest President. I side with the Dark Prince. His day will come. Ominous and true.
I don't like how many little people you have joining your weird princedom.
Kingdom of Darkness.
Yeah, you little weird prince boys. What are they? What's wrong with them?
There's some girls in there.
Little prince girls.
Yeah.
Little princesses.
Yeah,
Little princes.
I feel you all, my creatures of darkness. Our day will come. All wrestle talk all the time.
Oh my god. Please support the queens.
Yeah, please. We don't want to hear that shit.
If you're on the side of the queens, what are you called? What is your stand name?
Superstar beauties.
Your superstar beauty.
That's pretty good. Yeah. God damn it.
And we are the $1 billion boss bitches.
That's what we are as queens.
Guys, what say we do our loot drop?
Okay, Niamh, take us away.
I have one, surprisingly. I just forgot to write it down. This is a podcast that someone might be interested in.
Someone
Some one person who is like me and may be interested in coins or coin collecting.
Jesus fuck.
So this is a podcast that...
See, Bryan, you thought Wrestle Talk was shit.
In 1928, the Irish Free State caused a commotion when they decided to put animals on their coins instead of political heads. So this is about Ireland's decision to put stuff like hares, hens, horses, salmon, and just animals and our nature on coins instead of political figures. It's a short and sweet, but it's cute and
that was cool.
Yeah, I really miss the animals because
Me
now
too.
our money has doors on it.
You remember the 50 pence coin
Had a bull.
Yeah.
had this? No, that was the 5.
Oh,
That was a
sorry,
5p,
so the 5p, and then the 50 cent was the pentagon that had the stag on it, or
No,
no,
Stag was a
had
pound.
stag was a pound. Then what was it? A horse?
See, Niamh,
Horse was 20.
Brian's like a year or two younger than us, so his fucking like conscious memories weren't forming when the
Not
pound
good
was the
enough.
thing. The 50 pence one was like a weird bird, and
It's like a swallow or something.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and the
yeah.
20 pence was a horse,
Mm-hmm.
and
What else do we have?
the 1p was like a weird mutant.
And which was the trout? Was that the 2p?
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that one.
This is about the ones before them, so like it would be the halfpenny, the halfpence and stuff.
That
so
had the bumblebee on it.
there was a chicken, and I think there was a bumblebee, and
Oh,
there was a
I'd
rabbit.
love if there was chicken on money.
It was a really lovely design as well. It was very like graphic. Anyway, it's just about Ireland's cute money, and coins.
I got one, and this is a little animation that was done for the guys over at Mega 64. I'm a big fan of fun anecdotes, and I'm a big fan of weird people you meet at con stories. This is both, and it's like someone has animated this really strange young man that showed up to the Mega 64 booth one day, and them telling the story of it. It's really funny, it's really well done, and just check it out.
I know the one you're talking about. It's very good. Then it's not out yet, but it should be by the time we are recording. It's a short film called Agony Aunt, directed by Sean, aka Paper Bag Animator.
A good lad.
Oh, John.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to do that
Wait.
again. It's a short film called Agony Aunt.
That was Niamh's fault. This is the twist. That was Niamh messaging me.
Niamh.
No, it wasn't.
Was it?
She literally just messaged me. Whoops.
So this is Sean's new movie.
Sean's new movie that was made earlier this year, and I was the post-production guy on it, so I also helped. So if you like the post-production, that's on me.
Yeah, and people, I get a lot of questions. People being like, "Where can I see what you guys do?"
Well, here's an
Here's
example.
your chance. Here's your chance,
Here
buddy.
it is. This was a cool collaboration, and it was very fun to make, and we were looking at Studio Trigger for references, and we were all on the same wavelength while making it, and we're all super proud of it.
You should be. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
I can't wait to see what happens next. I want to make another short film soon.
Let's just say Tarantino would love it.
Oh.
Niamh did like a really weird wink at the end of that sentence. I don't know what she's
No,
getting at.
I totally get it, and yeah.
You wouldn't know. You don't know anything about animation or movies.
Once again, when I said she's not nice to me, outraged.
So what is birding?
Well, it's when you and a friend go find some very tiny birds and some big giant jackets. What?
Okay, bye everyone.
Wait,
Bye.
no, I'm not.